Hello students, and welcome to the next lesson in our AS level Human Geography course. Today we're going to be looking at population theories. Population theories. There are four main theories which we're going to look at, which are going to indicate ideas about global population and how the effect of an increasing population is going to affect the demand for our resources. Now the four main theories are the theories of Malthus, Boserup's theory, a theory put forward by the Club of Rome, and one by Julian Simon. So we'll begin by looking at Malthus. Malthus predicted that if population was not managed and slowed, it's going to outstrip the food supply. Then negative consequences were going to follow, such as war and famine. So this is what the graph that Malthus predicted would look like. Resources are fixed, so they go in a straight line upwards. However, population is growing exponentially when resources is only growing arithmetically. As a result, population is going to exceed resources, and we're not going to have the amount of resources in order to sustain our population. So, as a result, because of these differences in growth, there are going to be people who are going to die out, and we're going to go to war over these resources, and there's going to be total conflict because of it. Now, Malthus predicted that once the carrying capacity is then reached and we outstrip it, growth is going to be prevented by these checks. Now the checks can either be positive or negative. Negative checks are ones which are going to decrease the birth rate, for example the postponement of marriage and sexual abstinence. However, positive checks are those that are going to increase the death rate, for example war, famine and disease. Now we're going to evaluate Malthus's theory. In many aspects, Malthus is so far correct because today we are experiencing these checks in a lot of developing nations. However, there are a bunch of factors which Malthus did not predict. For example, the Industrial Revolution, which allowed us to transport goods and resources all over the world so much easily. Technology improving agriculture, so we can sort of extract all the resources we need from the earth to feed a population. So there was a lot more resources which went unaccounted for, which Malthus never thought would have existed. Better transport links, which then allow us to be able to communicate with other people and commute and share out all the resources as well. And better birth control. As a result, the population isn't growing as fast as Malthus had predicted. Boserup. Boserup was another theorist that said that humans are a smart race. What this meant was that humans would always find ways to allow the population growth to keep up with food production. So this is what Boserup's graph would have looked like. We have the resources which almost check that exponential growth rate of the population. Every time we may feel short of resources, us humans, because we're a smart race, are going to find a way in order to be able to extract more resources and get more resources in order to sustain us. Now we're going to evaluate Boserup's theory. Boserup rightfully predicted that technology would help improve the extraction of resources, which is true. Now we have a load of technology to be able to extract resources such as coal and oil. We have renewable resources in order to generate a lot more electricity, which we can then use for industry to get more resources as a result. Now there are also pesticides and genetically modified crops which help humans to increase the amount of resources and yield that we can cultivate. Now we're going to have a look at the Club of Rome. The Club of Rome and Julian Simon are closely linked. The Club of Rome, though, hypothesized that there will be limits to human growth on Earth. They will reach a point where the amount of resources available will actually control the size of the population. So unlike Malthus and Boserup, who predicted that the population growth is going to grow exponentially, that doesn't involve any other factor that will influence it, the Club of Rome actually said that it's actually going to be the resources which are going to limit our growth as a species, which makes sense because if we don't have the resources to sustain ourselves, how are we going to give more resources to children? So as a result, the birth rate is going to be limited by the amount of resources we have. And they're also going to meddle with the death rate because if people don't have the right resources to survive, then people will then die off. Julian Simon. Julian Simon believed that as resources run out, the price will increase of these resources, so therefore people are going to invest time in trying to make technologies in order to get it. They will firstly want to get more of the resource, they will want to find a substitute to the resources, and manage society to get the resources. So Julian Simon's idea is kind of similar to that of Boserup's, that humans, being a smart race, are going to develop these technologies in order to deal with the fact that we don't have the amount of resources which we really want. However, Julian Simon took more of an economical approach and explained that society is going to have to find substitutes and manage a society without a resource. Here you have some questions. Have a go at answering all of these questions, and then whenever you're ready, you can unpause the video after you have paused it to check out the answers. Here are the answers. If you did get all of these right, congratulations. I'd advise you to move on to the next video, which is going to be on youthful population case studies, and we're going to be looking at Uganda. If you didn't get them all right, be sure to rewind the video, or you can visit www.revisealevel.co.uk for more AS Human Geography revision, and more revision for a wide range of subjects as well, so be sure to check that out. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.